Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I've prepared a reading lesson for you today based on a classical children's book. It's called Pinocchio. The book itself, this version, is about 12 to 14 pages long, and I have created something that will help you to better understand your reading comprehension. Is what we're working on, your understanding of a story after you have read it. So I've created a tool. I'm going to show you how to use a tool so that you can better understand your story. However, before we get going with the comprehending the story, I want you to understand the importance of, yes, you need to know how to spell your words. You need to understand how to say your words. However, when they're all put together into a wonderful story like Pinocchio or any other story that you'll read, long or short, it doesn't matter, you have to come out at the end of that story and understand what you have written, or else what's the point, right? You want to enjoy what you've got there. So again, whenever you have a tool is designed to help you get better at something. Your tool that you're going to use today is a thinking map. And the particular thinking map that you're going to be learning how to create and how to use is called a sequencing thinking map. Now, sequencing, you need to understand the word, means to put things in order. Again, sequencing means to put things in order of how they happen. Because if we get the story all jumbled up, you're not going to understand it, and that's no fun. So the thinking map, I've entitled it Pinocchio. Why? Because that's our story. So we put the story title on the top. I've also written the words to remind us that this is a sequencing thinking map. Again, sequencing means putting things in order. If you'll see here, I've got 3 separate boxes, and each box represents a separate portion of the story. So the first box is a summary of the beginning of the story. The second box is a summary of the middle of the story. And then the third box, as you can guess, would be a summary of the ending or the last part of the story. So again, story might be 12 to 14 pages long, but we've narrowed it down, summarized it into 3 easy to understand, manageable pieces. Okay, so I'm going to get you started. I've rewritten it, but you just follow along with me. The beginning of the story represents maybe like 2 to 3 pages. So I've summarized, and I've written, Geppetto wanted a son of his own, so he made a wooden puppet and named him Pinocchio. That's the beginning of the story. Now we want to add 2 supporting details, get a little bit more detail underneath this summary. And I've added 2 boxes. The first one said, Geppetto, you must be a good boy. That's what he said. Second thing that was important in the beginning of the story, he says, if you're good, the good fairy will turn you into a real boy. So again, we took 2 or 3 pages of the story, summarized it right here, main idea, 2 supporting details. Now, as you can guess, we're going to do the middle, same sort of approach. The middle, representing maybe another 2, 3, 4 pages in the story, says Pinocchio didn't listen. Well, we have to add supporting details, just like we did in the beginning here. Our supporting details: he left the house without permission and went into the woods to play. Another thing showing that he didn't listen, it says, his nose and ears grow every time he misbehaves. Not a good thing, but again, supporting details to represent the middle summary. Now we go on to the last section, the end of the story. Summary is, again, last few pages, maybe 3 or 4 pages. Pinocchio learns his lesson. Well, give me supporting details that shows that he learns his lesson. First one, I decided to include this one. It says he decides to be a good boy and follow the rules. And the final supporting detail, he turns into a real boy and becomes Geppetto's son. Happy face, that's what he wanted to happen. So again, you've taken a story that's about 12 to 14 pages. With your tool, your thinking map tool, specifically your sequencing thinking map, putting it in order, you've been able to take this longer story, turn it into 3 easy manageable parts so that you're better able to understand. You've enjoyed your story, you can retell it, and maybe even encourage your friends to read it. So next time you'll be able to create a thinking map on your own, and maybe for fun, next step around, we can do it so that we can add pictures to each section. I've done that before, but I wanted to get you started on the easy part. So there you have it. You know how to do a sequencing thinking map.